Hi, BC family. Welcome to your midweek devotion. So on Sunday, I had the amazing privilege to be able to preach at church, and I focused on how we make a decision that's truly pleasing to God, and how we can set ourselves up to be successful in being led and knowing the voice of God. And I talked a lot about and centered a lot on the importance of believing that no matter what, God loves you. Even if you end up making a mistake, He is there for you to help you and to propel you forward. So sometimes in life, we are going through those seasons where the weight of the wind and the storm just can feel so heavy. It can feel like it's pushing us down. I think of like hurricane force winds. It's just so weighty on us. But when we truly believe that God is there, in the middle, that He's leading us and guiding us, then no matter how much the devil is trying to break us, he's just sending all he can to break us, we can't break because we bend. But the best part is even though we can bend under that weight, we bounce back better than before. As soon as we make it through that season, we bounce back better than before. That's what truly believing in God is all about. So I'm going to talk more about bending and not breaking today. So the verse that I want to talk about is Psalms 92:12, and it's in the NLT version. But the godly will flourish like palm trees and grow strong like the cedars of Lebanon. So I love how God used the palm tree out of any other kind of tree He could have used. He was specific in His choice for a palm tree. And He said that we will flourish like a palm tree. So remember, I had talked about hurricanes. So Hurricane Ike was a hurricane that had ripped through a part of Texas, and it took its toll on Texas, but on a lot of trees, right? So many trees were broken and uprooted, and we're talking big giant oaks, magnolia trees, those 140-foot pine trees, elms, all those big ones that look so strong and so sturdy like nothing could move it. They were no match for those 100-mile-per-hour winds. But do you think those skinny, flimsy palm trees broke? No, they did not. Why? Because God designed the palm tree to bend and not break in high intense winds. The palm tree is one of the only trees that can bend all the way over until its top touches the ground and still not break. And that's a lot of pressure, but they still don't break, right? Palms may be bent over like that for anywhere up to 4 or 5 hours during a storm or a strong hurricane. And you'd think that they would just snap right off. I mean, these skinny little poles of a tree, as thin as they are. But palms are resilient. And after that storm blows by, they bounce back up. I just want you to get that mental picture in your head, because when Satan is just coming at you and you're going through a storm and you feel like you're bending all the way over, the amount of pressure on you is intense. But when you are bending but still believing that God is with you, that God's going to see you through, then you can't be broken and you're going to bounce up better than you were before. So I'll keep going. That story of Hurricane Ike reminds me of the devil, where he comes in like a hurricane and he's huffing and puffing, and as much as he tries, he can't break you. But in his head, I'm sure he thinks, okay, well, I bent them so far over that they're going to stay bent like that forever. But again, when you persevere in God, He's going to lead you out. And like the palm tree, you're going to get to bounce back up. See, God built resiliency into the palm trees, and He instilled that in us as well. Just watch the lives of the disciples. I mean, if you read on any of the disciples, those dudes had resiliency. They're always writing letters. They get out of some prison somewhere, right? But they had resiliency built in them. The disciples, they weathered some hard storms, yet they never broke and they never stayed down. Now, I love that word weathered. So weathered, when you look it up in the dictionary, says come safely through a storm or withstand in difficulty or danger. So when you weather a storm, you're at peace as you go through it, because you know you're going to come out on the other side better than you were before. Weathering a storm is different than sweating it out. Other people in the world sweat through a storm. They're so full of anxiety, what if, and they survive their storm rather than thrive in their storm. I want you to catch those two words. So again, back to our key verse, Psalms 92:12. but the godly will flourish like palm trees. That's thriving. And grow strong like the cedars of Lebanon. Flourish, thrive. I love these words. And again, God knew what he was doing when he chose the palm tree, right? Here's a fun fact about a palm tree. So biologists say that during a hurricane, when the palm tree is being bent and pushed over, its root system is actually strengthened by the stress, which gives it new opportunities for growth. Wow. So when this palm tree is bent over, its roots are being strengthened, so when it bounces back, it can actually grow. It gives it an opportunity to become better than what it started. So when the devil thinks that he has so much pressure on you, that you're so bent over, and that you're being pushed by all the weight of your storm and what you're going through, when you're grounded and rooted in the Word and in Jesus, then your root system is actually becoming strengthened by that pressure. And when you bounce up, you're going to have opportunity to grow. Why? Because you're thriving through your storm. You're not surviving it. You're growing through your storm. You're not just going through it. So it doesn't matter what storm you may be going through. If you grab a hold of the palm tree mentality, the bounce back mentality, if you believe that good, what Pastor Michael talked about on Sunday, is what God will make out of any situation, then there's no need for stress or worry, because you know you're going to come back stronger than before, taller than before, better than before. We all face disappointments and setbacks. We all face failed moments, loss of jobs, bad reports, financial moments. But when you look at the storm and you see God in them, instead of worrying and being like, oh, what am I going to do? You can say, good, God is going to prepare me for a comeback like never before. I'm going to get to grow through this. Another great verse to remember is Proverbs 24:16, NLT. The godly, it's you and me, may trip 7 times, but we will get back up again. But one disaster is enough to overthrow the wicked. We stand out in the world because no matter what, we bounce back better than before. And we weather our storms, which means we walk through them in peace, which allows us to thrive instead of just survive. So this week, I want you to say out loud to your storms, I will thrive. I may bend in these hard times, but then I will grow because God is for me and no one can be against me. Have a great week. Bye.